Red Sox really haven't spent big money yet, right? This offseason. Like,
Right.
obviously, we're talking like maybe, right? Hoping. How much of this shift in potential philosophy? I know you said before this is part and parcel of the ownership, right? When they think it's there, they go all in. I agree with that. But Theo's back, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think Theo likes to just sit back and go, we'll just wait on it. Let's just wait and see. All these low flying moves. Every team takes a flyer here and there.
Right.
But do you think that now, the return of Theo, that in ownership's ear since Dave left, I don't think the Sox have had someone go like this. It's time to spend, John, that could speak to him like that. Do you think this is just John Henry knowing the wave, this is his cycle? Or do you think this is also Theo going, no, it's time?
I do think the wave kind of has a lot to do with it. I think, like, I've always wanted them to spend more, because we all want them to win every single year. But, when you sit back and say, okay, wait, is this really how they think? Like, when you look at the history of them spending, like, we'll start going all in 16 and go get David Price, because we've now seen what Mookie could be. We've seen what Xander is. We've seen what Jackie and Benintendi. And, oh, by the way, we got the number one farm system in baseball. Let's do it. And this is very similar to that time. I'm still trying to figure out the whole Theo role. I know a lot of people saying he's got nothing to do with management. He wants to learn about ownership and how it works, because that's the end game for him. But I know that when he came here, it was about, the Red Sox need to start winning again. So does he have that voice that in John Henry's ear, like, this is the guy we need? Because Dumbo certainly had it. Mm-hmm. Theo had it, later in his career too, with Larry Lucchino. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Charrington, Heim, and we'll find out if Breslow has it as well. Like, it's time. We need this guy. Like, an uncomfortable signing, an uncomfortable trade to convince them. So I'm still trying to figure out where Theo sits in all this. I like having him around. I just think the competitiveness in him, I find it hard to believe he wouldn't be involved.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm actually, since you're here, Lou, I've always had this thought, like, part of like a GM or PBO, whatever the fuck the main decision maker's name for the Boston Red Sox is, like what they're supposed to be. I've always felt like a big part of that role is convincing the owner to spend. Yeah. Like, I go back to like Dave Dombrowski going to Philly. Like, a year into his tenure, there was a report out like they were gonna we're gonna cut payroll. They did not cut payroll. We saw how that went. I believe they added on like multiple hundreds of millions of dollars in payroll after that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I feel like, would you agree with like the statement, like, you need to be able to sell your team as a GM, and like maybe like that's like that was actually Heimblum's like biggest failing.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody talked about Heim's tenure here, and it's like, he did exactly what ownership wanted, and I do think that there were some missteps in it. Yeah, he built up the farm system, right? But while teams are trying to win at the big league level, giving up their second, third, fourth prospect to go after it, if you don't do anything, your farm system should pass them. Like, they're trading guys away. You know what I mean? Like, if you just sit on all your prospects and let them develop, eventually you better have the better farm system, and I do think like 2022, like going over the luxury tax for no apparent reason. I think
that was so dumb.
Yeah. 2023 coming out and maybe making promises you're going to add pitching to this staff and going and getting Luis Arias. Like, I think a lot of things like fell into that role, but I think one of the big things here is that, like any corporation, like any hierarchy, like, I hire you to do a job. You tell me what I should do. If you think I should get this guy, fine. If it doesn't work out, then that's a check against you. You need to convince me that this guy is a different. You're the GM. Whatever you said, whatever the fuck the label's called, right? But you're the decision maker. So if you make bad decisions, it'll come for your ass. But you got to convince me this is the right one, and hopefully it hits.